What's going on, boys? So today we're going to be taking a look at our first episode in a series of, I think I'm going to be titling it Weird Gaming PC Companies or something like that. And today we're taking a look at a company called Cobratype. Now, this series is really just meant for these weird and obscure companies that nobody really hears about. And so this is just going to be the first one on the list, since it's actually probably one of the more recognized out of the bunch, just because they're pretty predominant on sites like Newegg. So if you search them up, they sell basically all of their computers off of this site. You can buy any configuration that they have on their actual website, basically off of Newegg. And if you guys want to get some more kind of first-hand references about their computers, you guys can go and check out all of these little reviews. I have read a good bit of them just to see how the company is overall. It's pretty much the standard stuff where, you know, you're going to have some stuff out in shipping and stuff like that. So sometimes GPUs are not going to be seated in all the way, or, you know, stuff's going to fly out during shipping. From what I've seen, their packing materials aren't too great. Basically, they just package it in the case box with a little bit of foam, but that's really it. So, you know, you don't really know if the system's going to get to you with 100% integrity. You might have some damage during shipping. But opposed from that, they also have pretty decent customer support from what I have seen. Again, most of these reviews kind of are talking about their customer support in a pretty decent manner. Most of the time when they are complaining, it's because it's the system that's broken. They're not really complaining about the customer support. So that's kind of a good thing. Again, I would probably like to see better packaging and stuff like that. I had kind of looked online to see what some of the packaging stuff is. If you guys want to see kind of what their little place looks like. So this is kind of the storefront that they have, and this is literally the packaging that the thing comes in. So this is the actual case box that this thing comes in. So not too great in terms of packaging and all that stuff. First off, impressions from this website, it's actually pretty good. I think that the professionalism from it, like, it just looks like a good gaming PC website. Most of the sites that we're going to be taking a look at within this series really don't look that good. These guys actually put a lot of effort into it. I assume they probably have a higher sales volume than most of the other companies that we're going to be taking a look at within this series. But these guys actually have, you know, a pretty decent website. So let's go over to the PCs. So this is basically just their shop tab, and then we sorted by price low to high. So a big part of their sales, or at least I think, is them refurbishing old systems. So these are technically quote-unquote gaming PCs, but they're basically just refurbished HP systems and Dell systems. And basically what they do with these is they probably buy them in bulk from a warehouse or a company that doesn't use them anymore, throw in a new graphics card and an SSD and maybe some more RAM depending on what model you get. And I'm hoping that they clean it out, but again, it's not 100% guaranteed. And then they're basically just selling these off as quote-unquote gaming PCs. They might be able to play games. They definitely don't have like the look and aesthetic. And if you actually want to upgrade these things later down the line or use some higher end parts, the airflow in these systems are not going to be any good. Now, I have a couple PCs I kind of want to take a look at, just assess them. But first off, I have to talk about the looks. Especially with these systems, right? So this particular case that they use is a case that they use for a lot of their gaming PCs. So like it's literally seen everywhere. I mean, they have this other one too, but this case in this picture, I think just looked terrible. I don't think the case itself is garbage. I'm sure it's probably like a $10-15 case that they source, but the thing is that the angle that they're taking the pictures from, right, like the lighting is just terrible on this plastic. It makes this thing look greasy, and that's just kind of one critique that I have with them, is that they should definitely invest in trying to make better pictures with their systems. Should definitely at least help with the appeal of the looks to their systems, because this like almost grease coating does not make me want to buy one of their computers. And I know it doesn't look like this, it's just the way that the light's hitting it, because if you take a look at this side shot of the PC, it doesn't look greasy, right? So I just think that they should probably take some better pictures, because this just does not look clean. It looks all dirty basically everywhere. So the other problem that I have with these PCs is in terms of airflow, right? So this particular case is not good because where the fans are oriented, if you take a look at the side, they're basically on the same level as where these vents are. These are the only places where the intake is from. And because they're on the same level, the fans really aren't going to have any access to the outside air. It's going to be really hard for the fans to pull in actually any air at all. So I really wouldn't count on these particular cases cooling anything that really requires somewhat decent cooling. But I guess that problem's kind of mitigated with their mesh front panel systems. I just kind of wish that this would be the standard case for all of their systems, not just their higher end ones, because this is what I kind of think a standard case should look like, not this kind of weird crap that's going on here. So now, especially like when I'm taking a look at a gaming PC company like this, you kind of expect the pricing to be pretty good. Usually, if they're less known, right, they have to find some way to have value in the market, or else they're just not competitive. Like, why would you buy from these guys compared to, iBuyPower that's selling, a CyberPower gaming PC for $600? That's basically the same spec as this thing. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that's like my biggest critique with this company, is that their pricing is just utterly terrible. I really don't think that they offer anything great. Their components really aren't that great. They're using older generation hardware, whereas this system from a Best Buy that you can get really anywhere is a $600 system with a processor that's much better than what we have on here. It's going to be much more upgradable than the system that we have on here. Sure, this system might have a little bit more memory and a little bit more storage, but in terms of just overall power, this system is going to beat the crap out of it. And the sad thing is it's kind of the same thing no matter how far you go up. So this is the other system that I was taking a look at. This is a $1,300 gaming PC with a Ryzen 5 3600, a $200 processor, with a RX 580, a sub $200 graphics card. And that thing is going for $1,300, which is absolutely insane. And if we take a look at a pretty cheapo PC, so something from like HP, I wouldn't really consider these things to be great value and in terms of build quality, but if I had a choice between the two, I would definitely go with this system. It has a Core i7-10700F, a fairly new processor with 8 cores and 16 threads, the same amount of memory that was on this system. You're getting an RTX 2060, which is gonna blow this GPU out of the water, as well that i7 is gonna blow this CPU out of the water. You got a 1 TB hard drive with a 512 gig SSD, and honestly, it just makes this whole entire PC look terrible. And all our PCs are kind of in a similar boat. They don't offer great value. They don't offer like anything crazy in terms of customization. I mean, I guess they have the cool RGB fans, so I really don't see why a whole lot of people are buying from these guys. I guess if it's like a local shop, you could probably go in and buy from them, and that might be a little bit better. But when it comes to buying this stuff off of Newegg, I really don't see the appeal. And that's kind of why I think that this company is really weird. It seems like they actually get some okay business for having an actual shop and being able to sell all these PCs with a pretty functional website, but they really don't offer anything that's that great in terms of value or in terms of looks, and in terms of quality as well. Their power supplies aren't too great, their motherboards aren't great either. So that's just kind of what baffles me. If I were them and you wanted to be more competitive in the market, I'd probably just switch a couple of things around in terms of the pricing department. I'm sure these i5 4570s do not cost you a whole lot to source. They probably cost you around $50 or less to source, and at that price point, you should probably be selling this gaming PC for around the $600 to $500 price range. I know they probably value their building time a lot, but from what I've seen from their stock photos, the cable management isn't anything to marvel at. It's pretty basic, and it's not like they're sinking a ton of time into these PCs. I know that this kind of look over might be hypercritical, but I really do think that these guys could actually have a decent system setup here. If they would offer lower prices with the same configurations that they have, I honestly think that they would be pretty competitive in the market. But as of right now, I just probably wouldn't recommend buying from them, and that's probably going to be the trend for all of these companies that we're going to be talking about within this series. Though some of those might be the exception. I have a couple companies that I actually like. But if you guys do want to watch more, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys get notified when the next video in this series comes out. And if you guys did like the video, please hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.